Hello and welcome to Bruin TV's video announcements. We are coming to you live from Studio 119. I'm Angie Williams.
And I'm Keely Bentonson.
And this is Bruin TV. Please join us for a moment of silence.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a lot of events going on next week. To take a look at them, here is Bruin TV's Santos Castaneda. Santos?
Thanks, Angie. Today and tomorrow, Oak Pass will be here in the auditorium and will feature various college and high school percussion ensembles, as well as 2 world-class guest artists. Prom will be this Saturday, the 25th. Make sure you get your ticket today, and Oak Pass will be here in the auditorium today and tomorrow. As for next week, on Monday, the JV Tennis versus SkyTech Duel will be here at 3 p.m. and the Varsity Baseball versus Muskogee game will be here at 6 p.m. on the 27th. Tuesday, juniors will participate in the Mastery Prep ACT Boot Camp, which will last at school all day. Johnston's graduation products pickup will be from 10:30 to 3:30 in the Commons. The JV Blue Baseball game versus Grove game will be here at 5:30, and the Varsity Soccer versus Rogers Heritage game will be here 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on the 28th. Thursday, RSU concurrent enrollment information will be available to students during advisory. The JV Soccer Boys and Girls versus Bixby game will be here at 4:30. The Varsity Soccer versus Bixby game will be here at 6 and 8 p.m. and the Varsity Baseball versus Owasso will be here at 6 p.m. on the 30th. The orchestra will travel to Chicago for their orchestra trip and will return Sunday. On Friday, an NHS meeting during advisory will be held in the Commons. The JV Soccer Boys and Girls versus Ponca City game will be here at 4:30, and the Varsity Soccer Boys and Girls versus Ponca City game will be here at 6 and 8 p.m. on the 31st. Saturday, the Special Olympics Bingo / Indian Taco Benefit will be held at 6 p.m. in the Commons on April 1st. Make sure you're preparing for the ACT test for April 5th if you plan to take it. That's all the events here for next week. I'm Santos Castaneda, Bruin TV.
Thanks, Santos. Juniors are required to take the ACT this April, and that is very important that they are prepared. I took a look at what BHS is doing as a school to prepare students for the big test. If you haven't heard from your homeroom advisory teacher, the ACT is coming up this April. While many students are studying and preparing, some may be worried and anxious about their scores. To better understand how we can prepare for this test, I have Coach Wolf here to elaborate on some study techniques and what to expect.
So, a couple of things that we've been doing. We've been doing mastery prep in our advisory. Hopefully that's been helping you all. There's study guides that are online. And the biggest thing that I would say to help before the ACT that kind of goes unnoticed is making sure that you get the proper amount of sleep the night before. You go to sleep at an early time, about 10 o'clock. You eat properly. You're going to eat a nice dinner and then wake up and make sure you eat a good breakfast. And so you're coming in fully charged and you're drinking lots of water all day.
Now that you know some ways to prepare yourself for this test, here are some areas that will be covered during the exam.
There are 5 different sections of the test. We've got an English section, which is like your punctuation, sentence structure. There's a reading section that talks about, there's different passages that you're going to read and analyze those. There's mathematics that goes up through Algebra 2. There's going to be a science section that analyzes data. And then there's a writing section as well.
Remember to save the date. April 5th will be a very busy day for both juniors and many seniors. Take care of yourselves and study hard. For Bruin TV, I'm Keely Bentonson.
It is storm season not just in Oklahoma, but across the nation. Bruin's TV Lucas Mann tells us one town that took a direct hit.
Tuesday's destructive wind event in Carpinteria has now been officially called a tornado by the National Weather Service. One of the main targets was the Sandpiper Mobile Home Park off Villarreal.
Could hear the rooftops and the metal flying up, and I think that's what created all the loud noise.
Anywhere you see a carport, if it doesn't have an awning, that was the wind.
Residents immediately came to each other's aid to pick up the pieces. In a follow-up visit, an assessment was made in person by the National Weather Service with the park manager. More than 25 homes were damaged.
Codes on that are better than most stick homes because it's so highly regulated.
Winds were estimated at 75 miles an hour. The damage was quicker than people could move.
Within a few seconds, my carport disappeared. I turned to go in the house. A piece of it hit me in the face. Luckily, it was a flat piece, didn't cut me. And we went outside, it was gone.
We watched it come flying straight across there. Unbelievable, 150 feet tall, just swirling around pieces of broken plastic.
Well, it's amazing that some of these awnings were flown up in the air several hundred feet and landed in tops of trees. We have an avocado orchard to the north of us, and there is debris throughout that avocado orchard. So some of the stuff flew a half a mile or more.
Nearby, the Carpinteria Cemetery was raked over by the swirling blast of winds.
Branches broke off, flew over the tree, and fell on the other side of the tree.
The dynamics were extremely rare, showing a powerful force from the ground level up.
Right now, what we're seeing based on the video evidence, based on what we're dealing with here as far as the damage, a very consolidated, very narrow path of damage. Certainly when we have, damage that comes from different sources, wind, sometimes it could be, even in the form of tornadoes, we have to understand what's going on.
Lucas Mann, Bruin TV.
As we all know, Oklahoma is in the middle of storm season. We have even seen flooding last night. Bruin TV's Landon Stevens spoke with the National Weather Service about our storm season here in Oklahoma.
It's interesting right now. The official spring outlook is for warmer than normal temperatures for the 3-month period. If you look at March, April, May, but really a lot of March right now looks to be fairly cool. So if that works out correctly, that we have a cool March but still manage to have the entire 3-month period warm, that means April and May will have to do a little bit of catching up to make up for the cool start. But if you take the entire 3-month run, we think it's going to be above normal, at least a little bit.
And how will all these big weather changes affect our tornado season?
There's not really an official tornado forecast, but what you hear is just forecasters discussing various things that they see and that they wonder about. And so if you start back with the official outlook that we were talking about, it mentions above normal temperatures in the spring. And at the same time, it has basically equal chances for above or below normal precipitation. So if you just take that kind of an average of that and say about normal rainfall with warmer temperatures should tend to lead towards a stormier spring in the area. So that's kind of trying to read between the lines of the temperature forecast and the precipitation forecast. But one thing that has us a little bit concerned is just the pattern that we've been in the last couple of months. The last couple of months have been pretty stormy and pretty favorable for severe weather. It's just that it's been kind of on the cold side. And forecasters have made the comment that if we hold on to this pattern, once we get into April and May, things could get rough for a few days.
I'm Landon Stevens with Bruin TV.
Tomorrow is prom, known as the Golden Gala. Bruin TV's Helen Nguyen looked into what has gone into putting prom on this year.
As prom is rapidly approaching, juniors and seniors are starting to plan for this memorable night. Let's see what Lauren Lee says about Student Council's plans for this upcoming prom.
This year's prom theme is Golden Gala. It will be at the Bartlesville Hilton Garden Inn from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then following that is after prom, which will be at the Rock from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. And there's going to be over $4,000 in prizes. And then there's going to be free food and drinks. And this year, after prom is free, thanks to our amazing PSG group.
Here's some things to keep in mind when buying prom tickets.
Prom tickets this year are not going to be bought during lunch like the previous years. You can go to the financial office and you can go before or after school during advisory, and you can purchase your prom tickets. So it'll be $30. But then this year you can also purchase prom tickets through Power School online.
Get your tickets and start planning before it's too late. For Bruin TV, I'm Helen Nguyen.
That's all for this week's live Bruin TV announcements. Watch each week to find out information around BHS in our community. I'm Angie Williams.
And I'm Keely Bettinson.
And this is Bruin TV.